In my last two videos, I explained why coping skills often disappear during overwhelm and what you can do in the moment when that happens. In this video, I want to talk about how to make it more likely that your coping skills remain accessible during stress and survival mode. If a coping skill is only practiced when calm, the brain may begin linking that skill to calm states. Then, when overwhelm hits, the nervous system may not easily reach for it. This is partly because survival mode shifts resources away from reflective thinking and toward threat response systems. So the goal is not just learning coping skills while calm. It's training them deeply enough that they remain more accessible under stress. If you're learning to play a song on the piano, you might be able to play the song at least somewhat by reading the sheet music. If you continue to practice, you'll be able to play the song smoothly while you read that sheet music. But if you keep practicing, you'll eventually be able to play that song without needing the music. Your hands just seem to move about the keyboard automatically. In terms of coping skills, many people learn the coping skill enough that they can sort of do it with instructions or reminders. Some people practice a little more, and they get pretty good at it while they're calm. What the real goal is, though, is to learn your coping skills so well that it's like playing the piano without sheet music. The way this happens is by lots of practice and active recall. It's actually more accurately called overlearning. The coping skill becomes automatic to some extent. It's important to practice coping skills until they become automatic. This is because under stress, the nervous system tends to reach for familiar responses, repeated responses, low effort responses, and practiced responses. This is because the more a skill is practiced, the stronger the memory path in the brain becomes, and the stronger it becomes, the easier it is to access and use. So here's what you're going to do. First, simplify the skill. Complex skills are often the first to fail when you're overwhelmed. Simpler is usually better. For example, instead of remembering a complicated breathing pattern, you might simply focus on counting to 4 each time you inhale or exhale and between each. The lower the mental demand, the easier the access. Practice retrieval, not just reviewing. Reading a coping skill is not the same thing as recalling it. You might be able to play a song when you have the sheet music, but not be able to remember enough to play it without that music. To improve your recall of the skill, try practicing it without looking at the instructions. Walk through it out loud. Physically perform the steps, and try to do it from memory. This helps the retrieval access. If you get stuck, look at the instructions, do that part, and then start over without the instructions. Next, externalize the steps. Don't rely entirely on memory. You can save screenshots, bookmark pages, keep notes on your phone, use visual reminders, or create simple cue cards. When overwhelmed, external supports can reduce mental load. And finally, you want to practice in different states. If you only practice when you're perfectly calm, access may stay tied to calm states. So sometimes it helps to practice when you're mildly stressed, when you're tired, when you're emotionally activated, or when you're distracted. This helps your nervous system learn this skill is available in harder states too. If you'd like a written version of these 3 videos, I put a link to the page on my website in the description.